Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about the best and the worst places to meet women. So what I want to do is start with the worst so that we can end the video on a positive note here. I will also say this, there is nuance to everything in life, and this isn't the end-all be-all. I'm sure some of you have met a significant other from the worst places on my list, and maybe it worked out for you. I met my husband on Tinder, so let that be a prime example. Starting with the worst places here, the worst place, number one, is a nightclub. Now, this can be one of the worst places of all time for many different reasons here. The first reason being it is loud AF, which can make it really difficult to have a nice conversation because of the environment that you're in. It's chaotic, it's dark, it's loud, not necessarily ideal for meeting someone. You'd be better off meeting someone in a cave. Not to mention alcohol, which can make you do and say really dumb things, present yourself in a way that is not authentic or in your best light. The list goes on. Not being in your right, sober state of mind can really create some challenges. And the next reason is just a value thing. If you're really into the club or drinking and partying, then okay, it might make sense for you to meet someone there. But if you're not into the club or alcohol or anything like that, then meeting a girl at the club is probably not the best idea, as your values may not be aligned. Say you are a bookworm or a homebody, and on a typical Friday night, you would be at home. Maybe it's your friend's birthday and that is the only reason you are out at the club. I don't know what the reason is. We could create any scenario here, but what I'm trying to say is that you would never ever be at the club. It's like very random that you're there. Meeting a girl who often frequents the club and that's where she often will find herself probably is going to be a bit of a misalignment there. Now, maybe she's in the same situation and she's just there. It's like a one-off thing and you guys connect over that. Then that's a different story. But really what I want to drive home for you to consider personally in talking about the worst places to meet someone is just somewhere that does not align with who you are. It doesn't align with your values or your morals or where you would typically want to find your wife. You know, if you have no issue finding your wife at the club, then go ahead. But if you're a guy who's thinking, you know, I just don't think my future wife is at the club, then maybe don't go to the club. So just something to think about. The next worst place to meet a woman, and maybe the worst of all, is the strip club. And I think this one is pretty self-explanatory, but I included it in this list for all of the guys who might have had the thought cross their mind of, I think this stripper might actually like me. To which I would say, oh, she likes you all right for only one thing that you have in your pants, your wallet. All jokes aside, it's her job to pretend to like you. She is providing a service. See it for what it is. That is all I'm going to say. The next worst place to meet a woman is work. Don't crap where you eat. I made an entire video going over the pros and cons and different situations in the past, so I'll link that below for you guys. But long story short here, I would tell you to look elsewhere. Really consider the cons beforehand. Some of the major ones I can think of are, what if you break up? Things could get very messy. It's hard to get over someone, but imagine trying to get over them if you work with them, see them every day, and are forced to interact with them on a professional level. Not great. There could also be some jealousy and resentment regarding promotions, raises, any type of workplace drama. Another one would be that you're never apart. This is an issue because as much as you should love spending time with your partner, it's important to have your own life and your own interests too. Being interdependent is important, and I would recommend not mixing work with pleasure and keeping work and home life separate. Generally speaking here, really think about the consequences before pursuing this person. It could ruin your career depending on the situation, or force you to get a new job. So just choose wisely. And speaking from my own personal experience here, I know a handful of people who dated someone at work and it turned into an absolute dumpster fire. And they all then afterwards came to me and said, I should have listened to you. And to which I said, lesson learned. Now the next, I'm going to go over some 50-50 spots. So what I mean by that are this could either be a really great place or this could be a really bad place, depending on you as an individual, who you are, who this other person is, what you're looking for. I mean, a lot of variables to think about here, but that is why it is 50-50. I don't necessarily want to put it on the worst places because it does work out for a lot of people, but I also don't want to necessarily put it on the best places because as equally as it does work out for people, it also equally does not. So that is why we have it on the 50-50 list. I know that's frustrating for a lot of you. Please bear with me here. The first one being a very obvious one, which is online dating. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I met my husband on Tinder, so it works for some people, but it also doesn't work for others. Simple as that. 53% of adults ages 18 to 29 have found someone to date through an app or a dating site, compared to only 37% in the 30 to 49 age range category. The numbers are smaller with increasing age, so that definitely plays a factor here as well. But again, that is why I put it in the 50-50 category here, because as much as it works for some people, there's an equal amount who it does not work for. And really, my overarching advice regarding online dating is to know when it's time to walk away from online dating or the apps and stop spending your money. I think most men honestly would have far more success meeting a woman in person instead of on an app. The next 50-50 spot is the gym, and I'm sure a lot of you understand and recognize why this is a 50-50 thing. Some girls hate it, some girls love it. It really depends on the individual, unfortunately. If I'm talking about myself here, I think it's a great place to meet someone for a couple of reasons. By meeting at the gym, you already have a common interest in fitness or a healthy lifestyle. It can also be beneficial to connect with someone who prioritizes their health and well-being, if that's something that you do as well. I think this is a really important value to share, so that's automatically starting off on a good foot here. But of course, there are some cons as well. Some people prefer to keep their gym time a little bit more private and may not appreciate being approached at the gym in such a vulnerable state. Showing up with no makeup on, sweaty, focused on your workout isn't necessarily an ideal situation for a lot of women to be approached in, and might just feel a little bit uncomfortable. Initiating conversations or pursuing romantic interests may distract you or that other person from their fitness routine in the moment, of course, when you approach them, but also going forward if you and that other person come back to the gym. It can be kind of awkward. So those were just a few examples of the pros and cons, but it really does depend on an individual's preferences and the circumstances. I think respect for someone's personal boundaries and kind of an open communication is definitely key when it comes to approaching someone at the gym. Being able to read the room, being able to understand, does this person look like they're in a state to be approached or not? Again, just really reading the room there. I have done so many videos about approaching at the gym because, as I'm sure so many of you guys know, there is a ton of content online of women kind of villainizing men at the gym, trying to catch them staring so that they can blast them on social media. I know this has made a lot of you guys hesitant for that reason. So again, there are definitely pros and cons, a 50-50 amount, honestly, in my opinion. So it's kind of a risk you take when you approach at the gym. But again, I have done so many videos reacting to content like this. I've done videos about how to approach at the gym, how to approach without being creepy, things like that. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more, you can definitely check that out. Another person who is just phenomenal when it comes to anything gym related is Joey Swole. I follow him over on TikTok and I just adore him and his content. A lot of the videos I've reacted to, he has also reacted to, but he makes it like his entire platform to do so. So if you're into that gym reaction type of content, definitely go check him out. And now on to the best places. Place number one is a cafe or a quiet lounge type of area. So maybe a coffee shop, a hotel lounge, somewhere where people go to get work done maybe. These places can often provide a more calm and relaxed atmosphere, which can be nice for striking up a conversation. If you frequent a local coffee shop often, I guarantee you'll see women there grabbing a coffee or even staying there to work on their laptops or read a book or whatever it is. This can just be a great place to meet people, and it's extra easy to start a conversation with someone here as well because it can be done so naturally. What's her favorite thing to eat on the menu? What's her go-to coffee order? Is she liking the book that she's reading? I mean, depending on the situation and the circumstances, it's so easy to create a conversation based off of what is happening right now. And in the past, I've also made some content on how to approach depending on the situation that you're in. If you're someone who struggles with this, those might be good videos for you to check out. The next best place is a daily routine spot. So think about where you go on a daily basis. Think about your everyday routine or where you tend to frequent pretty often. Meeting someone at a place that you frequent regularly creates a sense of familiarity, which can make you feel comfortable when approaching. This can help ease initial interaction and make both of you just feel more comfortable altogether. I know that approaching people is scary. I remember even doing my street interviews, my anxiety was next level, having to go up and approach people. So I'm sure that's how a lot of you guys feel when you have to approach women. Of course, there's a romantic element involved, which makes it even more of a vulnerable thing. So I don't fully get it, but just from doing my street interviews, I know how nerve-wracking this can be. So if you're at a spot that you're familiar with already, it can help just kind of put you at ease and feel a little bit more comfortable. Also, since you both visit the same daily routine spots, it's likely that you'll share some common interests or preferences. This can serve as kind of a natural conversation conversation starter and provide a foundation for building a connection there. Of course, not necessarily guaranteed, but if you're going to the same places pretty often, you already have something in common. Not to mention that meeting someone at a place you already go to pretty regularly is convenient. You don't have to go out of your way or make special plans to meet new people. It fits right into your existing schedule, making it easier than ever to find time for socializing. Something else to consider is because you're meeting someone at your daily routine spots, you may have the opportunity for a more regular interaction if you see them more often. You can gradually get to know each other a little bit better over time and build a connection, increasing the chances of developing a deeper connection or relationship down the road. Say there's a dog park at your apartment building, you take your dog there, she takes her dog there, you see each other there a few times, you start talking, you go there more often, you see each other, you can then develop rapport and a relationship, which can be really helpful in making something a little bit deeper there. The next best place is volunteering. So wherever it might be, a girl who is volunteering her time to something is probably compassionate, empathetic, caring, and just a gem. Giving to someone who cannot give you anything in return is very telling of someone's character. Maybe it's a dog shelter, a senior center, a homeless shelter, the list goes on. But it kind of goes back to this thing that I talk about a lot on my channel, is that when you're looking for a partner, really making sure that your life goals, your values, your morals, your contributions to the world are pretty aligned. And if you're both volunteering, that's how you meet someone, maybe that contribution to the world looks kind of similar and it's something that you can already connect on. And it's more of an altruistic thing that just feels good and is a great way to start a relationship. I used to volunteer a lot when I was in college, and even if you're not going to meet a romantic interest, you can actually make a lot of friends this way as well, which is a good thing too. Next best place is an organized group, so regardless of what you enjoy, what your hobbies and passions are, there are probably people out there that enjoy it too. Meeting a woman through a shared hobby or passion is an amazing way to meet someone, and the best part is that you already have something in common that you both are passionate about or that you both enjoy. It could be a book club, an art or a cooking class, the dog park if you have a dog, whatever it might be, but being able to connect over this shared interest or passion or hobby can be a really great way to start a relationship. Keep in mind, you don't have to have every single thing in common with someone that you want to date. You don't need to like all of the same music. You don't need to have the same type of dog. You don't need to like to cook all the same things. I mean, you do not have to be carbon copy versions of each other, but it is nice to have something in common that you can enjoy together throughout the duration of your relationship. The next best place is school. Obviously, this is not going to apply to all of you, but for those of you in school, it will. Being in the same educational environment means you already have something in common. You can relate to each other's experiences, discuss assignments or classes, and bond over shared interests and goals in terms of education. If you're in the same class, you can talk about an assignment that you had or something that happened in class. I mean, the list goes on of natural ways to start a conversation with someone if you are in a school type of environment. School provides a natural setting for regular interaction. You have opportunities to see each other frequently, whether it's in class, during breaks, or while participating in extracurricular activities. This is really going to help build familiarity between the two of you and create opportunities for easy conversation. When I was in college, I would see the same people over and over. Maybe not everyone else has that experience, but I know that I did in terms of the classes that I was in, at the food hall, in my dorm, at extracurricular activities, volunteering at different events. I mean, you see the same people again and again, especially if you join a club or a group or something like that. I was in a sorority, so I was seeing the same people over and over and over. So joining groups in college can also be a really great way to make sure that you are meeting new people and putting yourself out there. Also, when you meet someone at school, you are likely in a similar life stage, facing similar challenges and transitions. This can foster a sense of understanding and empathy between you as you navigate these academic pressures, personal growth, and future aspirations together. So again, I know this school one won't apply to all of you, which is why I put it last on the list, but I do think this is a really great way to meet people. I know education probably looks different for a lot of you. Many of you are a little bit older and maybe you've already passed that stage of your life, and that's okay. In that case, think about everything else I said on the list and maybe just forget this one. But for all of you guys who are a little bit younger, maybe you're in high school, college, keep in mind that this can be a really great time to meet someone and just, join different groups, put yourself out there and meet new people, whether it be a romantic thing or not. So guys, that is all I have for the best and worst places to meet women. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know where you've met people in the past, if you're a man or a woman watching. What have been your positive and negative experiences, best and worst places that you've met people? Would just love to hear your perspectives and experiences down in the comment section. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.